Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Gurudev ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gorakṣaras Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Shishimad Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Dait Madhav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Shishimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shad Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Sai Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय. सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जय. श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय. श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय. श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय. श्री भक्ति देवी की जय. श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय. श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय. Jai Shri. Oh, and I was wrong yesterday. I was looking at the 16th when I did the Jaidwani, not the 15th. So it's actually, today is the Thiruvav Titi. Jai Shri Devananda Pandit ki jai. Today is Thiruvav Titi ki jai. Oh God, sorry. Jai Shri Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Today is Thiruvav Titi ki jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Mayuk Bhagavat Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Today is Thiruvav Titi ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Today is Thiruvav Titi ki jai. All the Guru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Oh God, sorry. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Alright. God, I think I just need to blow my nose 1 second. Alright, Haribol. Sorry about that. So Dandavat Pranams, Nri Haribabu, Bhavatharani Mataji. And let's see who's there on YouTube and Facebook. I see Amit Dandekar and I don't know who else is there. Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and also pronounce to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jai Dev Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayini, Vrinda Didi, Anuradha Mataji, everybody else. Hare Krishna. So, today is, as I said in the Chaitanya, it's the disappearance day today, not yesterday, I got that wrong, of Devananda Pandit and of these three associates of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So I thought what we could do today is read the Bhagavāner Kathā, the Message of Godhead article by Śrīla Prabhupada, and then read about these personalities, these three personalities from Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī. So, share my screen and we'll begin. Oh, Sajjan Raj is there. Dandapranam Shri Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj. Very cool. Okay, so this is continued from the previous issue, Bhagavāner Kathā. These are the first articles that Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Prabhupāda wrote for Gaudiya Patrika. It was written in 1950, I think. Yad yad achati shreshtas tattad eva taro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. That's Bhagavad Gita 3:21. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So Śrīla Prabhupada says, alas, such a time has... Oh, I haven't done Jaidvani. Anyways, I'm just going to make the Jaidvani. That was our Mangala Shara for today. Or let's say Śrīla Prabhupada's Pranamach at least. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, so alas, such a time has come that most of those who are identified as superiors, as well as those who are great leaders of societies and countries, are inimical to Vishnu. What then will they do for Vishnu? If they do not perform yajna for the satisfaction of Vishnu, how will they attain release from the fruits of their own sinful activities? If great leaders do not declare Vishnu to be the omnipresent absolute truth, who, although possessing a form, remains present everywhere and is formless, non-distinct aspect, then how will the common man understand this? It is Hrishikesh, the master of the senses, who is the sole proprietor of everything. We cannot be the masters and enjoyers of this world. We should gratefully accept only that which he mercifully gives us. We must not hanker after or claim the property of others. Isha vasyam idang sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma gridha kaset swid dhanam. That's the first verse of Ishupanishad. Everything animate and inanimate within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only that which is necessary for himself, that is set aside as his quota. One should not accept anything more, knowing well to whom it belongs. Only if the leaders correctly perform their duties by placing Bhagavan at the center of them will they and their followers attain supreme auspiciousness. If, however, they do not place Bhagavan at the center of their activities, and instead pose as Vishnu themselves, deceiving their disciples by accepting labh, puja, and pratishta, that's wealth, worship, and praise, then many unfortunate people, many followers, can fall onto the path of ruination upon seeing their example of pretentious renunciation. They will achieve nothing but this. Such leaders uselessly incite their ignorant flatterers to engage in many types of sinful activities. By thus increasing their own labh, puja, and pratishtha, their own gain, worship, and fame, these leaders bring about the destruction of their followers. They do not understand that wealth, worship, and praise are transient and will be destroyed along with their body. The sinful activities performed to attain labh, puja, and pratishtha are subtly mixed with mind, intelligence, and false ego in the form of seeds of future sinful action. Performing these sinful activities will compel the jiva to sink in the cycle of birth and death as he wanders throughout the various species of life, birth after birth. The mass of people follow the example set by leaders who are devoid of tattva gyan. It is therefore correct for those leaders to act with great care, having understood the art of performing karma as a sacrifice, karma yoga. Only out of impudence will one who is not adept at curing his own illness prescribe treatment for the sick, for the common masses. Unless one knows the specific disease he is treating and the proper medicine and diet for it, he will not be able to benefit the sick. Similarly, prescribing a medicine that simply fulfills the desire for sense gratification will never benefit the common people. The disease will only spread, and the doctor, in other words the leaders, will also suffer by being infected himself. Human society's indifference to Vishnu is its fundamental disease. It is true that by failing to administer the proper medicine and showing only superficial sympathy, the senses of the sick person may receive momentary relief, but no real benefit is achieved. If a sick person is not given the proper medicine and diet, he will certainly rush into the jaws of death. The best and only diet for curing the multiple diseases caused by nescience is the remnants of sacrifice offered to Bhagavat Prasad. And the greatest medicine is to surrender oneself completely to him by taking darshan of his deity form, worshipping him, archan, serving him, dasya, being his friend, sakhya, and completely offering him your very self, atmanivedan. This is all based on hearing and chanting the narrations of his glories. Performance of such devotional activities will bring auspiciousness for the whole world. Anything else will bring inauspiciousness. If people perform these activities, there will be no chance of problems arising for human society. In fact, everything will be advantageous. Opportunists and economists should deliberate upon these facts. Although the leaders of society, headed by Mahatma Gandhi, have made great endeavors to bring about peace in the world, these endeavors are not bearing any fruit, and they never will. This is because they lack encouragement by the Mahajans. The imaginary God of the impersonalist Nirvisheshavadis cannot eat, see, or hear. That God cannot eat, see, or hear. Therefore, their God can never bring peace to the world. How will he, who is bereft of sensory organs, see people suffering or hear their prayers? The only result of worshipping Bhagavan as the Nirvisheshvadis do is inauspiciousness. It will never be auspicious. Very little of the absolute truth is obtained by contemplating impersonal knowledge of him. By studying and discussing dry empirical knowledge, the complete personal aspect of Bhagavan is not realized. Rather, one only attains suffering and difficulties. Therefore, leaders such as the respected Gandhi will only benefit the people if they endeavor to realize the personal aspect, the savishesh of the Absolute. On the other hand, the general mass of people are gross materialists. expert in performing activities related to the body and mind. People with such a low level of consciousness are absorbed in such mundane activities and cannot develop faith in the existence of the spiritual world which lies beyond this material world. They consider the body to be all in all, and they are so deeply absorbed in the animalistic mentality of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating that they cannot discriminate between sinful and pious activities. Tirelessly working like this to satisfy the senses is known as mogha karma, useless activity, and it is inspired by mogha asha, useless desires. Many mundane scientists, acting as reformers, engage in harmful activities to bring about world ruination. By producing various objects that satisfy the skin, tongue, nose, ears, and eyes, they have created a dangerous rivalry among materialistic people whose worldly entanglement they have intensified. These people thus claim dominance over material nature. But the more they dominate, the more they themselves are dominated and bound by the shackles of material nature. The more they accumulate wealth, the more restless they become. The Lakshmi of Bhagavan is only to be enjoyed by him. To the degree that one tries to seize her, one falls into the jaws of ruination, just as the whole dynasty of Ravan did. The result of making such great endeavors to maintain the body is that it becomes a great burden simply to sustain it with a little food. That's interesting, huh? The result of making such great endeavors to maintain the body is that it becomes a great burden simply to sustain it with a little food. It's kind of like counterproductive. The consciousness of some people is a little more advanced than this lower class of men. They are the fruit of workers who perform charity work and other pious activities with full faith that in their next birth they will be sure to receive a greater level of sense enjoyment. Both kinds of fruit of workers fail to understand that both sinful and pious activities are the cause of bondage. They do not understand that to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga, selfless action that is offered to Bhagavan, is the actual art of performing karma, action. Karma yogis who are experts in the art of karma skillfully perform karma yoga with apparent attachment in order to teach karma yoga to the foolish fruit of workers in the world. This art of karma yoga brings auspiciousness to both the performer and the society. Bhagavan Shri Krishna has given this very same teaching in the Bhagavad Gita 3.25. Sakta karmanya vidvangsho yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvangs tatha saktash chikirshu lokasangraham. O descendant of Bharata, ignorant people perform karma with attachment to maintaining themselves. Similarly, you, being wise, should also perform karma yoga to set an ideal for the people in general. Those learned in Tattva Gyan perform activities to maintain themselves just as ordinary people do, but as a yajna to please Vishnu. The general populace considers such wise persons to be sense enjoyers like themselves. Such persons, however, are not foolish fruit of workers, but learned karma yogis. Nowadays we're witnessing the karmi world prosper in various ways due to the expansion of modern material science. Many factories, hospitals, universities, and so on have sprung up, thus binding the world further in the ropes of karma or action. In ancient times, such mundane activities were not so prominent, but due to the effects of asatsanga, these tight bindings and coverings of karma are being invented. Wise karma yogis, therefore, can engage all such activities in yajna for the satisfaction of Vishnu, thus attaining expertise in the art of performing karma. Okay, so tomorrow we will continue. We'll continue on reading from this, the Message of Godhead series, Bhagavāner Kathā series. But now we will spend the next half hour reading about these three associates of Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, whose disappearance day it is today. What am I looking for? Sorry. Alright. Here, Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani. So yeah, we're reading from the website vcvani.com. That's where these three articles are. Okay, so first we read about Śrīla Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. Oh wow, this is a long one. Maybe we might not read this whole thing. Or maybe let's start with another one that might be shorter, and then we'll see how much we can get through with that. So Bhakti Mayuk. Yeah, okay, this one's short. Okay, so today is the disappearance day of Bhakti Bhagavad Goswami Maharaj. This is a Bhavanuvad of the Katha given by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj on December 25th, 2016. So Śrīla Bharati Maharaj says, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī, he says, today as a special tithi, it is the disappearance day of Śrīla Bhakti Mayuk Bhagavad Goswami Maharaj. His name was Rupa Vilas Das prior to taking sannyas from Śrīla Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Goswami Maharaj. Oh, and it's also Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Goswami Maharaj's disappearance day today, isn't it? So I guess, that's interesting. Okay. Or maybe it's not. I thought it was. His literary contribution. After joining the Math, Sri Rupa Vilas Das served in the editorial department. He edited and published Srila Prabhupada's Upadeshamrita, questions and answers, in 2 volumes posthumously. Sorry, I don't know how to say that word, but after he left, posthumously. One will get answers to all their bhakti-related questions if they read this book. We've published many articles from this, the Srila Prabhupada's Upadeshamrit, and I think it's now published in English online. You can get it on Amazon. I've seen it there. So it's questions and answers. Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He published Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Srila Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana. Wow. And Sri Prem Bhakti Chandrika. He also published Mantrartha Dipika, the elucidation of mantras, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vedanta Sutra, Guru Seva, and many other books. He also wrote many series of articles for our Chaitanya Vani. Wow. Nishta and Śrīla Prabhupada. During the manifest presence of Śrīla Prabhupada, if any family members of the brahmacharis would come to the Math to take them back home, they would be directed to Sri Rupa Vilas Das, who would convincingly make them understand that it was beneficial for their sons to stay in the Math. When his own family members came to take him, the others said, if Prabhupada says, then he can go back. At that time, he said, I will accept Prabhupada's decision, but I cannot accept any verdict that keeps me away from his service. This was his specialty. I found his stance extremely remarkable. Later, when he established his own Math, Śrīla Bhakti Mayuk Bhagavad Goswami Maharaj would also unfailingly send some donation for service of Śrīla Prabhupada at his birthplace, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Puri. Such was his nishta in Śrīla Prabhupada's service. Impeccable achar dissipates misunderstanding in Eka Chakra. In Ekachakra, the birthplace of Nityananda Prabhu, there was a propaganda that the Gaudiya Math was averse to the worship of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and hence acts against Siddhanta. But when Śrīla Bhagavāt Maharaj, Brahman by birth from Ekachakra itself, when he visited the temple, he paid Shashtanga Pranams to the deity after removing his upper cloth and glorifying Nityananda Prabhu by saying his pranam mantra. The pujari was baffled seeing this affectionate and reverential mood. He considered, even those who worship Sri Nityananda here don't pay obeisances like this. How can it be said that the Gaudiya Math does not regard Nityananda Prabhu? Śrīla Bhagavāt Maharaj also established a math close to Ekachakra. Gradually, this misconception was dissipated by the impeccable precept, the achar of Śrīla Bhagavāt Maharaj and other disciples of Śrīla Prabhupada. A service opportunity. I got the opportunity to serve Śrīla Bhagavāt Maharaj only on one occasion. He stayed at our math on his visit to Mayapur in his advanced age. He opened Sri Chaitanya etc. for darshan. Śrīla Bhakti Kusum Shraman Gosai Maharaj was working in the Patrika department in Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. So Śrīla Bhagavāt Maharaj honored prasadam with him. It was his niyam, his rule, to taste everything that was offered. We had also prepared one variety of rice from Assam for him, which was very delectable and of excellent quality. He praised it very much and asked, "Where did you get this from? I've never tasted rice like this before." On his visits to Vrindavan, he stayed in our math, going for darshans from there every day. The appearance and disappearance days of Vaishnavas are both equally important. Even simply remembering a Vaishnava name constitutes serving him, and this becomes the cause of our auspiciousness. That is why it is an offense not to glorify them on their titis. If you do not know anything about them, then even by taking their name, all auspiciousness is achieved. I love how Śrīla Bharati Maharaj just mentions that point over and over and over and over and over again to really make an impression. Okay, so now we'll read about, Śrīla Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Gosai Maharaj was the one who gave sannyas to Śrīla Bhakti Bhagavāt Gosai Maharaj, and they both had the same disappearance date. Isn't that fascinating? Is this a long one? No. Okay. So this is a Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bharati Gosai Maharaj spoke this on December 19, 2014. Today is a special tithi. It is the disappearance day of Śrīla Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Gosai Maharaj. Śrīla Shoti Gosai Maharaj used to earlier work at Tata Nagar, but upon hearing Harikatha, he gave up his job and joined the Gaudiya Math. Śrīla Shoti Gosai Maharaj is one of the 18 sannyas disciples of Śrīla Prabhupada. Alright. It says my internet connection is unstable. Okay, it looks like it's coming back. Oh no. Oh, there. It's there. Okay. God, sorry guys. Okay, so I'm not sure how long it cut out for, but we're reading about Śrīla Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Gosai Maharaj. This is Katha that Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bharati Gosai Maharaj spoke on December 19, 2014. So today is a special tithi. It is the disappearance day of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj. Śrīla Shoti Gosai Maharaj used to earlier work at Tata Nagar, but upon hearing Harikatha, he gave up his job and joined the Gaudiya Math. Śrīla Shoti Gosai Maharaj is one of the 18 sannyas disciples of Śrīla Prabhupāda. His literary contribution. Being proficient in Sanskrit, he made substantial literary contribution. He served as an editor of the Bhagavat, a bilingual monthly in Hindi and Sanskrit. The bilingual magazine, monthly in Hindi and Sanskrit, which was published by the Naimi Sharanya Math, Lucknow. He would correspond in Sanskrit for any comments or queries posed in Sanskrit by the readers. He also wrote extensively for Sri Gaudapatrika, published by Sri Devananda Gaudiya Math, established by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj after the disappearance of Śrīla Prabhupāda. And he proofread Sri Bhagavat Patrika, published by Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math, Mathura. That's cool. So he did the original Bhagavat, and then after my Gurudev's Bhagavat Patrika, he would also proofread for that. He also proofread the Vishnu Sahasranam, published along with a commentary of Śrīla Baladev Vijibhushan by Shishimad Bhakti Kumud Santa Gosai Maharaj, and Vedanta Sutra, published along with the Govinda Bhashya commentary by Śrīla Shishimad Bhakti Shrirup Siddhanti Gosai Maharaj. During the deity installations, he would chant the mantras promptly without having to refer to them. He spoke Harikatha in a clear and booming voice, using many scriptural references. A mystic perfection. He possessed a special siddhi, a special mystic perfection, which helped him remove poison from a dog bite by chanting some mantras. Twice during Rajmandal Parikrama, my godbrother Shripad Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj was bitten by a dog. The first time he had to go to Delhi to get an injection, and on another occasion, Śrīla Shoti Gosai Maharaj, who was with us in the Parikrama party, exclaimed, "No issues, I will do the needful." He made Puri Maharaj stand on a plate made out of wet clay, and began reciting some mantras, which made the plate rotate while Puri Maharaj still stood on it. Eventually the plate stopped moving. Then he affirmed, "Nothing further needs to be done. The poison has been removed." Basically, the plate continued to rotate as long as the poison was not completely removed. He would not normally exercise this siddhi. It was only incidental to a Matvasi being bitten by a dog. I have personally witnessed this incident. Hence, I remember it. Today, on his disappearance day, I remember him and pray at his lotus feet, begging for his mercy. Fascinating. Alright, so now we will read about Śrīla Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. Let's see if there's anybody still there, if everybody left when the... Okay, there's still some devotees there. Great. Okay, so Śrīla Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. So this is from the book My Beloved Masters. Let's read directly from the book. I have it open here. Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. Then the text will be bigger. Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. Where is it? There. Oh God, sorry. I have... Oh wow, there's illustrations for this. Here's a picture of him. And then there's an illustration by Bakula Mataji. Alright. Shishimad Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj. Intelligence beyond education. Shishimad Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj never took a break from chanting the names of Sri Hari, speaking Sri Hari's glories and pastimes, or serving Sri Hari. He was fully engaged in these activities for all 24 hours of the day. Without fail, he would ask all those who approached him a question pertaining to Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. He spared no one in this. Oops. Somehow or other, he would always initiate a spiritual discussion. When I first came to the mutt, I received the good fortune of having his darshan. The moment he saw me, he asked, "What is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam?" After I recited the verse, he asked me the meaning of the word Sushrushaya. At the time, I did not know so much, but I repeated to him whatever I had grasped. Afterwards, he handed me a newsletter and said, "Read this thoroughly, make corrections to it, and rewrite it eloquently." Interesting. Let's see. Owing to a Vaishnava etiquette and some internal fear, I did not ask him why he ordered me, a very new devotee, to edit his newsletter. Later, I questioned his godbrother, Sri Udharan Prabhu. Śrīla Maharaj knows so much himself. Why then did he choose to edit this newsletter? I told him I'm inexperienced. "Are Baba, don't you know?" Sri Udharan Prabhu replied. "Śrīla Aranya Maharaj is illiterate. He cannot read or write at all." When I heard this, I could not contain my surprise. From then on, each time I heard Sri Aranya Goswami Maharaj's discourses, I conversed with him. This surprise only increased. His Hari Katha humbled even highly esteemed scholars, and consequently, these intellectuals viewed him as their superior. No one could have imagined, even in a dream, that he could be illiterate. Stern yet affectionate instructions. As per the instructions of Śrīla Prabhupāda, Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj would collect monthly donations from many places. He would also regularly visit my Guru Maharaj, Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, while Guru Maharaj was staying in a rented house prior to joining the mutt. On one such a visit, Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj brought his godbrother, Shripad Kirtan Prabhu, along with him. Seeing the portrait of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the hall of Guru Maharaj's home, Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj asked Guru Maharaj, "Do you feel happy upon seeing this very beautiful portrait of Sriman Mahaprabhu?" "Yes, Maharajji," Guru Maharaj replied, "I do." Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj gravely asked, "Is it the duty of Sriman Mahaprabhu to please you by remaining present here? Or should you be the one making endeavors to please him?" He further inquired, "You have accepted Śrīla Prabhupada as your spiritual master. What arrangements have you made for his cooking?" Guru Maharaj replied, "I have appointed an Oriya Brahman to cook for me. He is responsible for everything related to kitchen services." Hearing this, Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj confronted Guru Maharaj, saying, "Have your hands been eaten by crocodiles? Why are you unable to cook bhog and offerings to Bhagavan on your own without the help of others?" Before Guru Maharaj could respond, Shripad Kirtan Prabhu whispered to Śrīla Aranya Goswami Maharaj. He said, "You should not speak to him like this. He comes from an affluent family. It is irrational to expect him to be able to do all the cooking himself. He has no experience with such things. Your harsh statements may make him lose faith in the Gaudiya Math and become dissatisfied with us." Although Shripad Kirtan Prabhu was quietly whispering, Guru Maharaj could hear everything. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj became even more displeased after hearing Sripad Kirtan Prabhu's statement, and said, "If I will not tell him, then who will? He is my god brother, and I therefore possess the right to say anything I wish to him at any time." Guru Maharaj became overwhelmed with joy to hear this. The mamata, the possessive affection Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj displayed for him, was unprecedented, and for this reason, Guru Maharaj remained eternally grateful to him throughout his life. Once they departed, Guru Maharaj arranged for new pots to be brought to his home, and he refused to eat for 2 days. And he refused to eat for the 2 days it took for them to be collected. From then onward, he himself cooked and offered bhog. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj always taught that Bhagavan's name and deity form, which includes his portrait, are non-different from Bhagavan himself. Guru Maharaj accepted this teaching with firm faith, and always demonstrated through his own conduct the standard by which one should show proper respect to the images of Bhagavan and his pure devotees. He did not frivolously place such images here and there, nor did he allow any of his disciples to engage in such irresponsible conduct. He sent the oil painting of Srimad Mahaprabhu that had adorned his wall to Babazar Gaudiya, where it was kept on a chariot during every Nagar Sankirtan procession organized by the Math. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj never said anything simply to appease anyone. He spoke only the truth, and that too in such a way that it brought about all auspiciousness for everyone who heard it. Warning against the misuse of Krishna's property. Whenever Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj collected donations, he would speak to people in a distinctive manner. He would never approach donors timidly, nor would he persuade them through flattery. Rather, his attitude was, "Asura lutiya khai Krishnera sangsar." Demons loot this world, which belongs to Krishna, and devour everything. He would explain to potential donors, "Those who do not utilize their wealth in Krishna service, which rightfully belongs to him, are considered demons. Behaving dishonorably, they steal what is his and use it for their own indulgence. As a punishment for their thievery, they become increasingly entangled in the vicious web of this material world." He would then ask those potential donors to ensure their welfare by graciously offering something for the service of Bhagavan. He would also say, Do not think you are obliging me through offering alms to me. Instead, you should consider yourselves to be grateful that I have accepted the responsibility of utilizing your offerings in the service of Bhagavan. Speaking on the inspiration of Sri Guru. Once Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj went with Shishimad Bhakti Hridayavan Goswami Maharaj and Guru Maharaj, at that time Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari, to preach at Baripada College in Orissa. While Srila Van Goswami Maharaj and Guru Maharaj delivered their lectures, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj sat chanting Harinam for nearly 2 hours in front of a portrait of Śrīla Prabhupāda positioned on the dais. When it was his turn to speak, he prefaced his Hari Katha by saying, "I am completely illiterate. I have nothing of my own to say. I will simply speak before you whatever my Guru Pad Padma Śrīla Prabhupāda inspires me to speak." Everyone present that day was incredibly moved by his Hari Katha. Śrīla Prabhupāda's mercy, a sincere performer of Anukirtan. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj once told me, one day I asked Srila Prabhupada if there was some specific service I could perform for him. Yes, Srila Prabhupada answered. You should always preach the message of Sriman Mahaprabhu and the Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas everywhere. I am totally illiterate, I replied. How can I possibly preach? Srila Prabhupada responded, simply repeat whatever you have heard from the lips of the Vaishnavas. Always strive to perform that means kirtan under guidance. Bhagavan personally inspires his simple-hearted devotees. It is on the strength of this instruction and Srila Prabhupada's mercy that I remain fearless and constantly travel everywhere performing kirtan of his Vani, of his divine message. Sometimes I see that scholars become stunned when they hear persons like myself repeat Srila Prabhupada's words. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, I managed to remember the titles of books, the verses therein, those verses' page numbers, and other such details. If anyone asks me to cite reference as evidence, I tell them which verse number to search for in a particular book in my trunk, then prove the point when is the verse. Wow. His humble faith in Guru Maharaj. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj was adorned with natural humility. Although he was a senior, he always had great love for and faith in Guru Maharaj. Srila Maharaj faithfully sent many of his renounced disciples to Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. He would write our Guru Maharaj a letter saying, I have sent my disciple to you so that he may become thoroughly entrenched in the conceptions of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. By staying in the association of you and your disciples, he will receive ample opportunity to learn. I never manage to teach anything to those who stay with me. I would be pleased if you could kindly accept the responsibility of teaching him. Once, while Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj was manifesting a sickness pastime, one brahmachari took him to see a doctor. After the doctor prescribed him some medicine, they returned to the mat. The next morning, the brahmachari asked Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj how he was feeling. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj from Bhagavad Gita 2.20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita na va na bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yang purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul neither takes birth nor does he die, nor is he affected by the repeated growth and dwindling of the body. He is unborn, eternal, and ever-existing. Though primeval, he remains ever youthful. When the body is destroyed, the soul is not annihilated. He said, according to Bhagavan's own words, the soul is not a material entity. How then can it become sick? Do you think I am a material entity? Am I not a soul? The brahmachari was rendered speechless. He later approached me, saying, one must carefully consider one's words before speaking to Srila Maharaj. You're bound to get in trouble if you ask him anything in a normal manner. All attempts must be made to fulfill a Vaishnava's request. One evening, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj arrived rather late to our Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Vrindavan. At that time, the in-charge of the Math, my godbrother, Sri Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, served him prasad. When Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj asked if there was any milk, Srila Puri Maharaj replied, Maharaj, there is no more milk. If I had known you were coming, I would have saved you some. Please forgive me. What? Sri Aranya Goswami Maharaj exclaimed. How is it possible there is no milk in Madhav Maharaj's mat? In fear of this reaction, Sri Puri Maharaj rushed to purchase some milk from a nearby tea shop. When he offered it to Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj, Srila Maharaj asked, Where did this milk come from all of a sudden? And then he gave him an instruction. If someone asks for something, it is improper to simply say there is none left without making an effort to arrange for more. The behavior of pure devotees is not to be imitated. Once I accompanied Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj to the bus station in Krishnanagar to see him off to Mayapur. As he was getting on the bus, the conductor told him to purchase a ticket. Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj became upset and replied, "What? A ticket? Whose bus is this? Who is demanding a fare? And from whom are they demanding it? Sura Kai Krishna Sangsar. Everything belongs to my Krishna, and this bus is no exception. I am not an ordinary servant of his. I serve him with the utmost love and affection. Instead of asking me for money, you should give money to me to employ in Sri Krishna's service." He then brushed past the conductor and sat down. We should not even dream of imitating Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj's conduct, although some may perceive him as arrogant after serious and impartial deliberation on his intentions. But after serious and impartial deliberation on his intentions, one can plainly see that everything he said or did was grounded in unadulterated truth. He was straightforward and sometimes angry, but his anger was never lasting. He would become happy and content after only a short while. I see it is 8:01, but I am alone here on Devi Hari Prabhu and Baba Tarini Mataji just left, and so yeah, I'm just going to keep on reading. Alright. The impact of a moment of his association. Once, as Srila Aranya of Sri Govindadev temple in Vrindavan, a Mayavadi approached him and said, "Om Namo Narayanaya," which means, "I offer my respects to you, who are Narayan himself." Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj furiously chastised that sannyasi. You are a hypocrite. You consider the living entity and Bhagavan to be one. You live in Vrindavan, but you have never heard a single thing from the true residents of Raj. You are so offensive. You consider yourself to be Brahma, but you are unaware of the simple fact that Brahma is merely the effulgence of Bhagavan's divine body. Come with me. I will arrange for your food and give you a place to stay. Your only duty will be to hear Hari Katha and try to properly follow the conclusions of the scriptures. The Mayavadi sannyasi was quite shaken up by Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj's statement, but he followed Srila Maharaj to the mutt, just as he was instructed. When they arrived at Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mutt, Srila Maharaj asked for my godfather, Sri Bhaktivedānta Puri Maharaj. When he was informed that Sri Puri Maharaj had stepped out, Srila Maharaj told one of the mutt's brahmacharis to bring white garments for the Mayavadi sannyasi to wear. When the white garments were brought, Srila Maharaj asked the Mayavadi sannyasi to change his garb. He then told the brahmachari, "Tell Puri Maharaj that Aranya Maharaj has brought this man to the mutt, and that he should instruct him in the teachings of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, whereby this man's birth in the human species shall become a worthy success." The Mayavadi sannyasi was simple and sincere. He solemnly followed Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj's instructions, and eventually became an excellent sevak. Later, he admitted to me, "Earlier, I ignorantly accepted and repeated whatever philosophies were put before me, but now I accept teachings only after careful deliberation." The incident demonstrates the extent of Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj's fearlessness, as well as the immensely positive impact even a moment's association, the positive impact that even a moment's association with him bestows. Wow, okay. Now the vast difference between the consciousness of a realized devotee and that of a neophyte. Once, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj stayed in our Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Krishnanagar for a few days, until he suddenly set off for Mayapur one morning. When he arrived in Sridham Mayapur, I requested him to stay in Guru Maharaj's Bhajan Kutir. Happily accepting my proposal, he removed his wooden shoes on the veranda outside Guru Maharaj's room and went inside. Sometime later, after bathing with the hot water I provided, he came out and asked, "Where are my shoes?" I replied, "Maharajji, they are right here, right where you left them." "No, these are not my shoes," he said. I was confused. "These must be your shoes, Maharajji. I saw you wear them up here. None of us living in the mutt wear our shoes on Guru Maharaj's veranda." As soon as I said this, he realized what had actually happened. He gravely picked up the shoes and placed them on his head in great respect. In a heartbreaking voice, he said, "The Vaishnava's shoes will always remain upon my head." And he recited a verse from the scriptures, "Jnanavalambaka kechit karma valambaka, vayam tu haridasanam padatranavalambaka." That's Padyavali 58. We just read that verse recently. Where did we read that? Forgot. Some follow the path of Gyan, while others follow the path of karma. We, however, are simply the carriers of the shoes of Sri Hari's servants. Did Śrīla Prabhupada quote this? I think Prabhupada quoted this. Or no, maybe it was Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. I think it was Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. I can't remember. He explains the meaning of the verse and lamented, "Alas, alas, I have mistakenly worn a Vaishnav's shoes. I am so unfortunate to have touched a Vaishnav's shoes with my feet. May the Vaishnav Thakur who owns these shoes forgive me." He did not simply slip on those shoes and think, "What difference does it make? I have already worn them here." Rather, he internalized his mistake and never wore them again. He put them in a bag and some days later returned barefoot by bus to Krishnanagar, where he returned them to their owner and prayed for his forgiveness. Such was his elevated consciousness. I happened to visit our Krishnanagar Math some days before he departed Mayapur. There, a brahmachari told me, "A crazy sannyasi came and took my shoes, but it is fine because I am using his shoes." Oh my God. When I heard this, I was able to grasp just how expansive the gulf of difference was between the etiquette, humility, realization, and conduct of Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj and that of the unmindful brahmachari. Encouraging others to serve according to their nature. At one point, Srila Bhakti Prakash Aranya Goswami Maharaj exhibited the pastime of having an ocular disease that affected his vision and made it difficult for him to recognize people. Guru Maharaj arranged for his treatment in a hospital in Kolkata and sent me to see Srila Maharaj's needs. A specialist at the hospital told me, "Before operating on his eyes, we must first control his diabetes. In order to do this, we need to manage his diet, and so his food must come from the hospital." I told the specialist, "Srila Maharaj will not eat hospital food. We can prepare and provide him with whatever foods you advise." The doctor accepted my proposal, and I began bringing Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj food prepared in the Math, especially for him. The day of Sri Anukut Mahotsav eventually came, and a grand festival was held at our Math in Kolkata. Sri Amiya Rai, a female disciple of Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj, was in attendance at the festival. She honored prasad in the Math and packed some to take to her family members at home. On her way home, she stopped by the hospital to see her Gurudev. By providence, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj was accepting prasad at that time. Seeing her Gurudev taking simple prasad, she became upset and said, "Today is Anukut. What kind of prasad are they serving you?" Before Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj could answer her, Sri Amiya Rai filled his plate with the Anukut prasad meant for her family. At her insistence, Srila Maharaj honored some of the prasad. His blood sugar increased, and the date of his operation was postponed as a result. The specialist told me, "The food you are giving Maharaj is more regulated than what he would have received from the hospital. But please explain to him that he is not to accept food from anyone's hands but yours." When I conveyed the specialist's order to Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj, he told me, "Look, there are two ways of serving, according to one's own desires as permitted within the scope of scriptural injunctions, and with the consideration of what is most beneficial for the object of our service. Amiya Rai understands only the former. She serves according to what she feels is best for herself. She is not yet advanced enough to practice the latter, in which she should serve according to what is best for her object of service. Anyway, I will do as you and the specialist say." Once Srila Maharaj's sugar levels returned to normal, the doctor performed the operation, and Srila Maharaj regained normal eyesight after only a few days. I think I might end here. Yeah, I'm going to end here because it's now starting to get late. But if anybody wants to continue reading this chapter from my beloved masters, you can find it on vcvani.com. And the title where we left off is Affectionate Exchanges Between God Brothers. Alright, so thank you everyone so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow to continue reading from this Bhagavāner Kathā series by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Prabhupāda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur, Jai Shri Bhakti Mayuk Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Prakash Aranya Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, all their disappearance day ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Prabhupāda ki Jai, his wonderful writings ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Oh, Jai Shri Devananda Pandit ki Jai, to the Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see who's there. I see Amit Dandekar, Shripad Bhaktivedānta Sajan Maharaj, Vidyalala Sadidi, Rohini Nandan Prabhu. Sajan Maharaj says, Happy Mahadwadashi. Jai. And also all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jaidev Prabhu, Ananda Pradayini, Krishna Rose, Vrinda Didi, and Anuradha Mataji. Dandavat pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Let me look in the calendar. What's coming up? What titis are coming up? 1 second. So tomorrow is the disappearance day of Sri Mahesh Pandit and Sri Udharan Datta Thakur. Those are two of the Dwadash Gopals, right, of Nityananda Prabhu. So we'll read about them, and also we'll continue reading from this Bhagavāner, what is it called? Bhagavāner Kathā series, the message of Godhead. And then the next big thing coming up, it's not for a while actually. Yeah. Oh, Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami's disappearance day is in exactly 1 week from now. And also the disappearance day of Jagadish Pandit. That's 1 week from now, on the 23rd. Alright. Thank you so much for joining. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Dandavat pranams, Shripad.